So, hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And men are blank than women. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Or you could twist it the other way and say women are blank than men. Self-fulfilling prophecies. So I'll get into that in a moment. So I'm Earthling yada yada yada. Like I said, I'm an ex-Army reservist. I've had the opportunity to travel many different places in the world that I never thought that I would see. I have a computer science degree, a MBA. I've done a little bit of gymnastics, karate, swimming. Not at a professional level per se, lifeguarding, not lifeguarding per se, but how to save somebody. And that's it for me. So, self-fulfilling prophecies. Men are blank than women. Women are faster than women, specifically. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a while ago, and it kind of went like this. Which was, you would say like, okay, look, in the case of men and women, you have Usain Bolt, who is fastest man in the world, or was, not that his records have been broken, but he was while he was running. And he's like at least, he's about a second faster than the fastest woman in the world. And, that a full second is a big deal, because between Usain Bolt and the other people who he beat in the races that he won, it definitely wouldn't have been a second. It would be like, a tenth of a second, or maybe a third of a second. But a whole second when it comes to sprinting amongst men is considered a big deal. And I think the fastest woman in the world is Flo Jo, my friend was saying, and maybe that's accurate. I really don't care. That's not really my point. If you remove yourself, however, from the professional sport, and you just, to me, look at the disparity between men and women from a casual observer's point of view, over the course of 100 meters, you're telling me that the difference between the fastest man in the world and the fastest woman in the world is 10%? That's it, right? I mean, I would say, yeah. If a woman, Flo Jo, run at, let's say, 10 seconds, and men run at 9 seconds, let's say, don't know the details, that means that men are, they run it in 9/10 of the time that a woman does. So I'm just calling it a 10% difference. Really? That's the huge disparity between men and women. And the fastest woman in the world, that record, if he's talking about Florence Griffith Joyner, that record hasn't been broken in how many years? That sounds like a long time ago. That's at least 20 years ago that record changed. So my point to my friend was that I understand that men on average are going to be taller than women, more muscular than women, etc. But for a man and a woman who are the same height, the same body weight, they do the same kind of exercise, there might be a disparity in what the results are, but meat is meat. A woman's meat, in terms of her muscle, in terms of her capability, should not be different than a man's meat. And my friend was like, of course, there's testosterone, and he was, to me, just describing the results of our belief that women are weaker or that men are stronger. If you believe that going into it, and most women never train or run or compete directly with men because we have divided things by sex and we say, okay, this is for women, that's for men. It means that women are never going to say, oh, this is my goal. No, they're going to think this is a woman's goal and that's what I'm going to achieve. And you're like, oh, Earthling, you're being insulting. Women know what the numbers are for men, and if they want to, they can try as hard as that, and they can achieve the same amount as men, but they don't, so clearly they're not capable of doing it. And I would have mentioned before that from a very young age, women are in a different world to men, a mentally different world, wherein if you have a young girl, whatever she does, she would be praised for it. Whatever the boy does, it should be better, harder, faster, whatever. People just don't put as much stress on a woman to do better than they would on a man. And it's the same thing in life. Women have no problem, or people have no problem in telling a man that he's fat or that he's ugly or that any of those things. Whereas body positivity is really a more female thing. Anyway, I'll just get right into my point. I'm not getting right into my point, but this is my thesis. What if we believed that women were faster than men? What if we believed that? And what if for the last 100 years, 200 years, we had decided to focus only on women running faster than men because we wouldn't have known it? It's a fact. We have proof of that. We have a world. We know what that would look like. And you say, hey, Earthling, that doesn't quite make sense. What are you talking about? We have proof of it. Men run faster than women. Well, I haven't looked this up, but to me it just makes common sense. I am sure that the current record sprinting for women is at some point, or compared to some point in time, much faster than the world record for men would have been at some time. So we know that currently, and again, it's my assumption, but I believe it must be the case because world records have been broken, right? So if they've been broken consistently for many, many years, it stands to reason that with such a small difference between the results of men and women presently, that there would have been, or there are women now who are running faster than the fastest man of a particular era. And if you think about the 4-minute mile, the fact that that was considered impossible at some point, and then one day somebody broke that record. They broke that wall. And as soon as they did, then another person did, and another person, and another person. And there's a lot of people who can have done sub 4-minute miles. And it's the same thing when it comes to world records. At some point 100 years ago, people would have thought this is the fastest that a man or a woman can go. And presently, men and women are running faster than that. So if we had started with the belief that women are faster than men, we would have been able to press women. A woman would have been able to press themselves to, at the very least, be able to run as fast as they currently do. Some women would have obviously reached this world record because clearly It's within their capability. If men had not been focused on as much, the pace of their record setting would have been a lot slower, and we would have had the beliefs that we had verified, because we would see these fast women as a result of our being so generous and so excited about women running faster and faster, and not really caring quite as much with respect to men. And we would have our results, which is that fastest woman in the world, based on women definitely being able to run at present speeds and being faster than these men who we did not focus on, and their world records just remained at the numbers that they would have remained at in the past. They never tried. Just like the 4-minute mile, they never saw a man do a sub 4-minute mile, and they just didn't believe it was possible, never pressed themselves, and they never achieved that. And I think you can see the same thing when it comes to the idea that women are, black women, let's say, are some of the fastest, or just black people are physically capable. I think there is a genetic component that might help that, meaning that since black people have such a wide genetic range, it is possible that, like Michael Phelps, you would find black people of a particular ethnicity. They might have some genetic markers that would increase their capabilities, just like you have, people who through successive generations are able to survive and do well and thrive at higher altitudes than many other people, or people who are able to use milk without any problem. So there are going to be some genetic variability that's going to help people who are black, because it's such a wide range of genetic possibilities. At the same time, though, I think that once you have that belief that black people are more physically capable, a lot of white people and people of other races would not try as hard. They would not have seen somebody of their race performing at this level and not think that it's possible, which is ridiculous. And with respect to black people, they would have, so they would think, yeah, this is definitely possible, and produce. I think that there are a lot of self-fulfilling prophecies out there, and the results of our testing these prophecies never take into account the background of believing in these prophecies beforehand. That if we could find a way to get rid of those beliefs and test them, I think that would definitely change the results that we see. Anyway, that's me. Thanks for listening. Feel free to like, share, dislike, comment, subscribe, any one of those things, or look at another video that I have created. So, yeah, thanks, and treat me like you'd want to be treated. Please. Have a good one. Peace.